Theories of second language acquisition. These theories come to us from the field of psychology. There are four major frameworks: information processing, processability approach, connectionism, and complexity theory. A common point for these frameworks is that they all compare the human brain to computers. Also, supporters also believe that learning is learning. The basic assumption for these viewpoints is that learning language involves the same basic mental processes as learning any other type of complex knowledge, such as mathematics, learning to ski, learning word processing, or learning to drive a car. Information processing. Central assumptions for this theory are that complex skills are broken down into sets of simpler skills that are arranged with the lower order skills being prerequisite to the higher order skills. Controlled processing, the initial demands on a learner's attention when learning is a new skill. It requires a great deal of attentional effort. Learners can only attend to a limited number of controlled processing demands at one time. So, practice allows learners to move from controlled processing to automatic processing, and automatic processing requires less attentional effort. Movement to automatic processing frees a learner's controlled capacity learning resources for consideration of new information and higher order skills. Restructuring or reorganization of mental representations also takes place during learning. Reorganization of these mental representations serves to make mental formations more coordinated, integrated, and efficient, which results in faster response times. Increasing SLA proficiency is the result of larger memory stores and the reorganization of mental second language representations. Second language fossilization can occur when automaticity occurs before the desired target level is reached. Positive input no longer leads to improvement, and the second language learning appears to stop. There are three stages in information processing: input, the perception of stimuli; central processing, which consists of movement from controlled to automatic processing; movement from declarative to procedural stages of knowledge; and restructuring, as evidenced by the U-shaped development. The final stage is output, which is production. Processability theory. This is based on the information processing theory, and its goal is to determine and explain how processing skills develop in relation to the second language learning. The skills are hierarchical, which means that the level 1 skills are a prerequisite for level 2 skills, level 2 for level 3, and so on. The first level is the lemma, word access. Lemmas, which are words, are processed without carrying any grammatical information or in association with ordering rules. The next level is category procedure. Lexical items are categorized, and grammatical information such as number and gender for nouns or tense for verbs may now be added. Phrasal procedure. This consists of phrase-level operations such as agreement for number and gender agreement, phrasal procedure consists of phrase-level operations such as agreement for number and gender and agreement between the subject and verb of the noun phrase. S procedure. Grammatical information such as agreement between subjects and verbs may now be exchanged across phrase boundaries. And finally, the clause boundary. There may be different handling of the main and the subordinate clause structures. The learners appear to progress through these developmental sequences even when the instructional level is more advanced than their developmental level. Connectionist theory. The focus for this theory is the increasing strength of associations made between stimuli and responses. Their ability to make connections and associations between related concepts through the brain's neural networks, nodes or units, is the key. Learning consists of a change in the strength of these associations. Language learners are exposed to input, make note of the irregularities and patterns, and form probabilistic associations called connection strengths, or patterns of activation. Parallel distributed processing is the best known connectionist approach. There are important differences between connectionism and other information processing theories. They assert that learning is not dependent on a universal grammar device or rule formation, but rather that it's dependent upon the connections that are being formed. Attention is seen as a device that's found throughout the processing structure in local patterns. Processing is parallel, and many connections are activated at one time. Knowledge is connection strengths between units, accounting for the recreation of patterns, not something that's stored in memory or as patterns which are retrieved. Complexity theory. It's also known as dynamic systems theory, complex systems theory, and chaos theory. The goal is to describe and explain change in complex systems such as language. Languages are seen as complex systems with interdependent components and stages of learner language. The various components become more structured and organized over time. Important differences from other psychological perspectives include the assertion that there is no universal grammar device. Instead, grammar and basic rules are the result of active language use. It integrates considerations of many internal and external factors, including social, cognitive, and contextual factors, in the attempt to explain second language acquisition.